right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this Sunday evening at 7:45. This is going to be a quick fire review because I've got a game to get to, but I wanted to get something out because it's been a week. Tonight's video du jour is Black Void. This is an awesome game. Hardback, stitch sewn binding. It's not going to fall apart on you. It's produced by or distributed by Modiphius. You can also pick it up on DriveThruRPG as a PDF. Full disclosure, I bought this copy on my own, and I bought the GM screen as well. There's the GM screen right there. It is non-standard size. It is awesome. I recommend you get it if you're going to run this game. This is going to be a quick review, unfortunately, because I have some other obligations, but 419 pages, I believe, did I say? Yeah, 419 pages. They give a shout out to the Kickstarters. This was successfully kickstarted. They're also just successfully completed their, I think it's Under Nebulous Skies or Nebulous Void, the secondary Kickstarter, which is an expansion book with a whole bunch of goodies in it. So looking forward to that coming early next year. And that was successfully kickstarted. I also, if you go back in the archives and you watch the review, I did a review with Christopher Sveldenson, who's the designer and the author of this book, and it is amazing. It was a fun interview. He was such a great guy to interview. And like I said, full disclosure, I bought and paid for this with out of my own pocket. This is 419 pages of pure, beautiful goodness, RPG goodness. It's a parchment style paper, at least that's the look it has to the paper. It appears to be quality paper. I don't think this book is going to fall apart. The art in the book is just simply phenomenal. I'll give you a quick glimpse. There's a nice piece right there. And the aesthetics of the book, the layout of the book is phenomenal. It is a character point buy system. You're going to create your character by getting X amount of points depending on the level, slave, novice, or adept. You'll get the points required for that level. There are traits, which are your attributes, and then there are talents and flaws. Talents cost you points, flaws give you points. Pretty brutal and very positive depending on the talent or the flaw you take. There are skills, there's backgrounds you choose, and there's also a random world that you kind of, your background comes from. So the character creation is in depth, but not as complicated as it kind of first looks when you flip through the book. You do have 419 pages of goodness here, but it's in the same vein of a lot of RPGs that are going this way now, and it's a trend that I really like. Is all you need is this book. You don't have to buy another book. You can get away with just buying this book. The game system is very simple. It uses it's a skill-based game with a D12. 12s are a success or an extreme success, and 1s are a failure, and rolling and adding again to it as well. Target numbers go from 1 to whatever the GM decides, or the average, super tough being a 12, nearly impossible being like a 16. But again, if you were to roll the die and you rolled a 12, you could pick the die up and roll again, and as long as you got a 4 or better, you would succeed if the target number was a 16. So it's a D12 system. It's very simple. Combat is well organized. There's maneuvers and things. There's ways. It's pretty deadly. So again, be smart. Don't be the bully and just think you're going to walk roughshod over everybody. Because the great thing about this game is you've been snatched off of Earth during the Babylonian times, and Earth is pretty much gone. And you have been sucked into the void, and you are the lowest of the low. You are what the bottom feeders eat. You are that low, and it is up to you to prove that you are worth something to the Dizians of this realm. They give you a bunch of different backgrounds as befitting the game mechanics. A lot of the charts are based on 12, so there's 12 core worlds. There's 12 of this, 12 of that, and so it's really well done. A lot of thought went into the system. The mechanics, like I said, are pretty solid. Positive, negative modifiers. Roll a d12, meet or beat the target number, and you win, or you succeed. This game emphasizes, and I think, in my opinion, requires thinking. If you want to kick in the door and kill the monsters and take their treasure, this is not the game for you. But if you want to tell an in-depth story and have some meaningful combat that your actions mean something, and it's never going to be guaranteed that you're going to win or lose, depending on how the situation plays out. This is a good game for you. I think I would put this in the category of a storyteller game. Reason I say that is just because of the way the mechanics and how in-depth and rich the setting and the worlds are that they create in this book. And they do a great job of explaining that to give you just a taste. I know there's a couple supplements out there, and I know there's a couple PDF adventures that you can buy. And of course, Under a Nebulous Sky, or I can't remember what the latest Kickstarter's called, but that's going to add even more flavor to it. And I believe we're getting a really cool like cloth map of the cosmos or the void or something. I know there's been talk about it. I'm not quite sure if it made the Kickstarter. But I gotta say, the game it's on my table. I keep it right next to my table here so that when I have a quiet moment at work, or I have a minute to read, or I take a little coffee break, I read a couple pages, and I'm about halfway through the book, and I'm just literally enjoying everything I've read so far. If you want a great game that just goes really in depth and gives you a lot of flavor and a lot of feel for the universe, this is the game. Black Void is it. Is it as dark as Warhammer and some of the other games like that, like Zweihander? Yes, I think it's darker, but it's a different kind of darkness. It's no fun to play a useless character. These characters have panache. They have style. They have their niche. And if the players can learn to find their niche and exploit it and use it, they can go far. Or they just might die if they piss off the wrong person or thing. Person may not be the appropriate word, but it's a really unique system. The character sheet, I think, is beautiful. Whoever did the character sheet deserves kudos, because it is awesome looking. And it's very unique. When you break out a Black Void character sheet, you're playing Black Void. There's no, is that a variant of D&D, or is that a Palladium? No, it's Black Void, and that's the only thing it's ever going to be confused with is itself. It is cool. So I highly recommend this game, guys. I think it is a win in my book. The publishers, Christopher, they did a bang-up job. Christopher, thank you so much for, again, doing the interview with me. Thank you for putting together the Kickstarter that made this book possible, and I'm so glad it got backed. I really enjoy it. One of the cool things I like I said, is the character creation. There's your traits, which are basically your abilities, and then you have talents and flaws. Talents cost you points in this point-buy system, and flaws give you points, but the flaws are brutal. And really are going to bring your character alive. So if you pick this up, and I hope you do, definitely look at those flaws, because it's just going to enrich your role-playing experience. Sure, you could take all the talents and everything and make a combat monster, but this is a game where there is always somebody bigger and badder than you, and they're willing to take you down because you're a human. And you're lower than dirt. Nobody's going to bat an eye if somebody kills you in the gutter. They're going to leave you in the gutter, and the rest of the other gutter people are going to come and take all your shit. So it's a brutal game in that aspect, but you got to be smart. You've got to play to your strengths and try to avoid your weaknesses, and hopefully have a good party of players with you that will help you. I think this is a great game for a group of like 4 to 6 players. Because you can be very diversified. I don't think no two characters are going to be the same. There's no cookie cutter level or template, that you put on for a starting character. It is, you build your character, and I don't think no two people are going to build their character the same. There is magic. It's called mysticism, and you can wield it, and it's the great equalizer, right? But of course, you're taking points away from all your all your traits and all your talents. So it's a give and take system. You want to cast magic? Fine, great. But you may not be very tough, or you may not be very fast, or you may not be very quick, or whatever, So it's a very cool system. I think it is definitely worth playing. And like I said, I'm going to get it to the table here soon. I'm very much looking forward to it. And I just want to keep reading it. It's one of those books, it's hard to put down. Once you start reading it, you're engrossed in it. And I think that's just a sign of a good game. So I have to sign off. That's the end of the review. I hope you found it helpful. If there's anything else you want to know, or if you have other questions, feel free to hit me up in the chat below, or join my Discord. I'll put links in the doobly-doo. But that's the end of the review. As always, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping. So obviously, like and subscribe. If you're new to the Meanie Army, join my Discord. You can also become a Patreon. It's $5 a month. I also have a drive-through affiliate link that if you use it, it doesn't cost you any more money, but it puts a couple pennies in my pocket, and it's most helpful. It allows me to keep buying awesome games like this. So please use that affiliate link if you're going to buy something at drive-through, because like I said, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and I get a little bit of a kickback. Also, like I said, on Patreon, it's $5 a month. I keep it simple, and that gives you access to, of course, my Discord, and also gets you access to when I run impromptu games. Like today, I ran Edge of the Empire for my Discord group, and Cosmic Flux is one of my Patreon subscribers. He got first dib, and it worked out because he had just gotten his book in the mail, so he was jonesing to play. So it all worked out, and I've been trying to run games on Sunday afternoon around 2 o'clock Central Time. So if you're interested in a casual pickup game, or learning a new system, or playing a new system, or playing one that you might not have experienced very much, join my Discord and reach out to me on Sundays around 2 o'clock, and we'll see what we can do. It's going to try to make that a normal feature. Other than that, guys, as always, like and subscribe. If you do purchase this, let them know in the notes that Mr. Mean sent you. And as always, peace and hair grease. And remember, Mr. Mean says be nice. Thanks, everybody. Be safe, and Merry Christmas.